Good evening, I'm Tanya Fletcher. We begin tonight at the BC border where a pair of dueling demonstrations took over the Peace Arch crossing today. On the one side, the far right rallying against the recent surge of asylum seekers crossing into Canada. And on the other, counter-protesters trying to drown them out in their push to keep our borders open to immigration.
Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey! Hey, go, go!
It was a relatively small but loud gathering at Peace Arch Provincial Park this afternoon. Apart from the noise, it was a peaceful clash of protests. The standoff, though, was one of several similar ones across the country today, including at other border crossings and also on Parliament Hill. Here's what the two groups locally had to say today.
Concerned basically on what's happening on our border, with people entering in illegally, not coming through the front door but kind of a back door. Where we had a chance before, if they came to the front door and applied, this is causing great hardship on our country, and it's showing our immigration policy right out the window.
This is a different group, anti-immigrant. They say they're ultra-nationalist. I think it's a very small step from that to being quite racist, really. And they say, immigrants are taking over our country. Immigrants are our country, except for Indigenous folks. We're all immigrants, right?
It's not just a point of contention in our province either. It was a similar scene further east across the country at Canadian-U.S. border crossings in Quebec as well. The CBC's David Cochrane is there.
It was a day of taking sides at the border. A lone man pushes into a crowd of pro-immigration demonstrators. It goes as expected. A short while later, that lone man's reinforcements arrive. Right here on one side of the standoff is the anti-immigrant Storm Alliance. They're here today to try to get to this makeshift refugee camp that was set up to deal with the irregular border crossings that were happening near here. But this is what's in their way. Solidarity Across Borders, a pro-immigration group of counter-protesters that to this point hasn't given an inch. Go home, Nazi scum! Go home, Nazi scum!
Today is to denounce Justin Trudeau and Liberals' policy that obviously people are miscontent with what's going on with politicians right now.
They're calling you racist, they're calling you a fascist. How do you respond to that?
I don't care. They never came to talk to me. They never informed themselves about us. There's a lot of disinformation over there,
The standoff lasted until one man charged the Storm Alliance lines. Then the riot squad came out. Then more. But the police weren't the only ones with reinforcements. Another wave of Storm Alliance supporters. Two loud and angry sides entrenched with an armored wall holding them apart. Then, suddenly, it was over. The Storm Alliance started to leave, at first in dribs and drabs, and then a march away from the border. Unable to get to their desired protest spot, unwilling to push through police, they left and went home. David Cochrane, CBC News, Saint-Bernard-de-l'École, Quebec.
And to our nation's capital now, where a protest and counter-protest on Parliament Hill also got rather heated today. Demonstrators with the Canadian Coalition of Concerned Citizens gathered to rally against Liberal government policies. They claim illegal immigration has grown out of control under Justin Trudeau's leadership. That group clashed with an opposing group of ralliers that prompted RCMP officers in riot gear to form a barrier just to keep the two sides apart. The afternoon ended with some people led away under police escort.